Hey guys, Ken Smith, KenSmithFishing.com. It is the 28th of June. We are not going to get to the lake this weekend, but I did reach out and get a couple of good fishing reports from you guys, from Daryl Gleason over on Toledo Bend, and from Brian Branham on Sam Rayburn. So both guys who were on the water this week. So I'll get to that in just a second. First, a reminder, come out and join us 4th of July for the Outlaw Outdoors tournament. It's going to be a nice, what I would call sort of a short tournament. He's going to let us start fishing. I got to read this. It's pretty hard to read here. It's 160 bucks a team, so it's not a real expensive tournament. We start fishing at 5:45, done at 2. If you've never fished one of those tournaments, they let the first, I think, 50 guys get in line later than the last 50 guys. So if you're going to fish that, I'd get your entry fee in sooner in case you trailer somewhere else. It gives you way more time, an extra half an hour to get back in the weigh-in line. So I would guess, reading this, let me look here real quick. There you go. Teams 1 through 50 have a 3 o'clock weigh-in time. Teams 51 plus have a 2:30 weigh-in time. So you actually, in this case, get an extra half hour fishing right there off the Outlaw Outdoors Facebook page, which, by the way, I will put down in the description below for anybody that wants to see that. They are also the guys who have the calendars of events on Rayburn. They keep a great calendar for everybody there as well. Matter of fact, let me take a look at that real quick and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so as I said, right from their website, tomorrow the 29th, and I hope to get this video up tonight, which will be Friday night, the 7th annual Worsham Bass Tournament. That would be over at Jackson Hill. The AB Open Series going out of Humphreys. Angler's Quest out of Lakeview. Media Bass Individual. It doesn't say where that is, but I'm going to bet Jackson Hill. And the Woodville Fire Department tournament at Castle Boykins also tomorrow. Sunday will be the Angler's Quest individual tournament. That will be out of Lakeview. And then the Sunday evening Poorman's tournament there at the Monterey Boat Ramp. So that's what's happening. It looks like there's also the Jackpot tournament on Tuesday night out of Castle Boykins. But that may be a day tournament, but I think it's a night tournament. You might check on that. That's the 4th annual Outlaw. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong stuff here. That is the Outlaw Outdoors tournament. I keep thinking I was reading Tuesday. It says Thursday. The Tuesday is the Jackpot. Then Thursday will be the 4th annual Outlaw Outdoors tournament I just told you guys about. And then it looks like there will also be the Jackpot that night. So if you really want to fish all day long, you could fish the Outlaw Outdoors and then come back and fish the evening tournament as well. And then the following weekend, looks like the 11th No Name Bass Club out of Monterey. That would be Thursday, same thing. And then looks like the only thing would be then, of course, the Bass Champs coming up on July the 13th. So there you go. Lake reports, fishing reports. So Rayburn, I talked to Brian Branham. He was on the water this week. He said the fishing has cooled a little bit, but it's still very good. He said it's, and actually he and his partner, Junior, struggled in the Bass Champs tournament. They had a really small limit, did not weigh their fish. So he said they truly zigged when they should have zagged. They went up early, shallow, and caught a really quick limit. And he said then they went out and basically fished brush piles and some ridges the rest of the day trying to get a big bite. And what everybody discovered, now I wasn't down there, but a lot of the guys discovered was there's still a really good shallow bite. It's more spotty, it's not everywhere, but what I heard is there's a pretty good haygrass frog bite. This is from Brian. Or there's a pretty good frog bite. I'm sorry, I assume that was a haygrass frog bite. And then that there's still a good mid-range bite, which he's calling sort of from the edge of the bushes out to maybe about 10 feet. Does not sound like there's still a really good deep bite. One of my buddies who finished, I think, in 4th or 5th place in the Outlaw Outdoor Tournament, who I know to be a deep fisherman, said actually no. He said all of our fish were what they call that mid-range, which is that 10 to 14 foot range. So the water, there's still so much shallow flooded cover on Rayburn. There's just a ton of bait fish, a ton of brim, which means there's a ton of bass shallow. And so we're going to go back down. We're going to fish the tournament. Moon Pie and I are going to fish the 4th of July tournament. So say hi to us if you see us. And we will be staying pretty shallow, I think. I know Moon Pie is going to fish tomorrow. He says he's going to check some brush piles, but it just does not seem that those fish have really gotten out there just yet. And by the way, to that point, somebody had asked me what we would be doing in one of the comment sections. Moon Pie went back up and tried to catch those frogfish that we had caught the week before in the Outlaw Outdoors tournament, and they were gone. So again, it's a spotty bite, but if you spend a little bit of time on the water at Rayburn, you can still find a good shallow bite from everything I'm hearing, all the reports I'm hearing. Talked to Daryl Gleason this week. I thought this was a really interesting report. He said the fishing is pretty good. He said the evening fishing is really good. He said that he's running a bunch of half-a-day trips just sort of in the evening, and he said from basically 6 o'clock to dark, you can catch more fish than you can catch pretty much the rest of the day. So if you want to do a half-a-day trip with Daryl, I'd reach out to him. By the way, I'm going to put Brian's and Daryl's Facebook page, Brian's website in the description below here in Facebook, down there somewhere. So just go down to where I describe what's going on in the video, and you can find both those guys' contact information. Daryl said this is a deep bite time. He said that the fish at Toledo have transitioned out. He said if you want to learn how to drop shot fish, now would be a really good time, which I would love to learn, to come over there. And he said he can teach you very quickly how to get confidence in drop shot fishing. Those of you who don't know Daryl or don't know him well, he won, I think it was the Bassmaster Open on Toledo, I think about a year ago. Daryl's a very good deep water fisherman, but he also does electronics classes. So he'll do one of those where he spends most of the day in the boat with you, teaching you how to use electronics, finding fish and catching those fish. So if you want to book one of those trips with Daryl, reach out, and I'm sure he'll be glad to do that with you. So that's my two fishing reports. Rayburn, still pretty good, not quite what it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but as those fish get back out on those brush piles, they'll get a lot more dependable deep again, I hope pretty soon, and still a good shallow bite. And Daryl's saying that Toledo is full up, deep bite, a lot of fun. He said it's really fun. He said you can come over, play golf in the morning, and then do an evening trip with him, do a half-day trip with him, and really have a fun day. So there you go. Hope to see you guys at the, oh, I'm sorry, one more thing I want to talk about, and I know Sarah says don't do that. So those of you who know, I fished with my buddy Dickie Newberry for years, and Dickie, today is the last day, excuse me, the second day of the last FLW tour event on Champlain. And Dickie and I never talk really during the day. Obviously he can't, but I never hear from him until I call him after the tournament. And he called me today in the weigh-in line, and he needed about 14.5 pounds to make the Forest Wood Cup. He was in the Forest Wood Cup. He just needed to maintain his standings. And as he was getting a fish out of the live well, that fish got loose, popped out, and hit the lake. He said he caught 30 or 40 keepers today, and that fish cost him the Forest Wood Cup. And I'm normally pretty good at having something to say. And buddy, I got nothing to say. My heart goes out to you. I have fished several hundred bass tournaments in my life, and I have only ever lost one fish that way. It was actually a Bass Champs tournament. Hey, Stella. It was actually a Bass Champs tournament with Dickie, and I don't think he'd ever lost one that way before. So, man, keep your chin up. All of us, everybody that knows you in Texas is still cheering for you, and we know you will make the Forest Wood Cup next year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see you win one next year. So, the guy made the Forest Wood Cup. He just could not get all 5 of his fish today into his bag and up onto the stage, and that is, I mean, that's a Jim Bitter, heartbreaking kind of a deal. And it's not just a tournament; it's the entire year. I know how hard you worked on that, and partner, my heart goes out to you. So keep your chin up. It's a long drive home, but you got happy things coming this week. And anybody sees Dickie around, pat him on the back, tell him it's okay. We all know he's a heck of a good fisherman, and he'll be in next year's Forest Wood Cup. I think this he'll be there. Don't worry about it. So, by the way, nobody tell my mom I said this, because my mom will never get to this part of the video. July 18th is my mother's 80th birthday. She is in my friends on Facebook. Come find me on Facebook. Everybody, if you would, on the 18th, I want to blow my mom's socks off. Wish her a happy 80th birthday. I'll post again before then, but you can go ahead and track her down now. So that's just a little bit of fun with my mom, but she's a great lady. She's been my main support since we lost my dad when I was a pretty young man, and I love her, and I'd love to make her 80th birthday special with all you guys help out there. So please join me in wishing her a happy birthday on the 18th. Thanks, guys. We'll see you hopefully at the Outlaw Outdoors tournament next week. See you then.